Have you heard of One Piece? Well, it's an anime. You probably have heard of it, but in this video, I'm going to explain the part one of the first arc in One Piece, Romance Dawn. Uh, I thought it. Well, this video does contain spoilers of the show because this is basically a summary of what happens in the story. So, if you don't want the spoilers, and if you want to have the same experience watching the show yourself, you should probably just watch it. But just in case you don't want to watch it, that's fine too. If you just want to hear the story. But yeah, you can continue if you're fine with those two things. So, wealth, fame, power. Gold Roger, king of the pirates, left all of his treasure in One Piece. And after his death, everyone wants that treasure. And it started a great pirate era. One of these pirates is Monkey D. Luffy, who got stuck in the barrel at sea. He gets picked up on a cruise ship with the barrel, but the cruise ship gets attacked by the Alvida pirates. The Alvida pirates invade the ship, and everyone's mostly off. Oh. The tour boy Kobe isn't nearly on the same level as the other workers, and hides from them in a room. But in this room, he finds a rather large barrel. He rolls it out, thinking it would be filled with booze, but it's not. Luffy breaks out and says hi to Kobe. Now here, Luffy is here with Kobe, and he's like, "Wow, how did you beat up those two workers from behind you?" And he's like, "'Cause I'm strong, duh." And then Kobe's like, yeah, I'm here with Alavita. They imprisoned me here 2 years ago, and I've always wanted to escape." And Luffy's like, "Why don't you just escape, you dingus?" And Kobe explains that he wants to be a marine, and Luffy explains that he wants to be a pirate. But in the middle of that conversation, problem arises. Alvida breaks through the boards, and Luffy takes her on. She bashes him in the head with her mace, but unlucky for her, Luffy has the power of rubber. Luffy punches her into the sky, and that is the end of our first part of the episode. Luffy and Kobe get a ship and sail to Shellstown. Shellstown has a marine base, so Luffy and Kobe thought it would be a good idea for Kobe to join the Marines there. In the platform, they find pirate hunter Roronoa Zoro there. Luffy thinks he's strong, so tries to get him to join his crew, but Kobe's like, "No, don't go in there, he's dangerous." Luffy's like, "Yeah, I didn't ask." And he goes in anyway. And Luffy's like, "Hey, why are you in prison?" And Zoro's like, the dumb butt chin guy made a deal with me that he would stop terrorizing the townsfolk if I survived here for 1 hour. I mean, 1 month. So Luffy's like, "Yeah, okay," and leaves. Luffy arrives at the town pub, and the butt chin guy, Helmeppo, is like, "Yeah, I was lying about the whole promise thing. I'm gonna execute him tomorrow." And Luffy's like, "You broke your promise!" And he punches him in the face, and he's like, and the butt chin guy's like, "I'm telling my dad." So basically, Zoro's a swordsman, so Luffy goes in to get his swords. after destroying Captain Morgan's statue, his dad. This guy has his dad has some messed up problems. Like he almost killed he almost got some of his workers to kill themselves for being scared. But this guy, yeah, he definitely has some problems. But Luffy has no problem beating him up after Kobe unties Zoro. And then Zoro basically kills him. And then that is the end of this part of the saga. We are now on episode 4, and Luffy and Zoro sail out. Luffy almost loses his hat, but Zoro catches it just in time for Luffy to have memories of when he was a kid. When Luffy was a kid, there was this pirate named Shanks who he befriended. And it was one, which is probably the reason he wanted to be a pirate anyway. And on one day, Shanks was teasing Luffy about him being a pirate because being able to swim isn't everything. So then all of a sudden these mountain bandits break in. And they're like, "Give us the booze!" And Shanks is like, "Okay, here, you can have this last bottle." And there's like, "One bottle's not enough!" And he's like, "I'm sorry, but this is the last of it." And then the mountain bandit guy punches him in the face. He punches the bottle and breaks it and spills everything over Shanks. Then they leave. And call him pathetic. And then, after they leave, Shanks cleans up stuff, and then all of his crew bursts out laughing. Luffy's like, "Why are they laughing? Why didn't you stand up to him?" And Shanks like, he just got some booze on me. I shouldn't care. But then Luffy eats the gum fruit. Out of frustration, I guess. He had no idea what it is, but it's too late. It gave him rubber powers, and now he can't swim anymore. Fast forward about a day. Hold on. Fast forward about a day, and Luffy's standing up for Shanks from the mountain bandits, but Luffy is getting basically beat up by the mountain bandits. But then Shanks and his crew come in and are like, "We're here to save you, Luffy." But the leader of the mountain bandits throws down a smoke bomb and takes Luffy with him. And just when he throws Luffy off of the ship, a Sea King eats the leader, Higama, and the boat he was on. So basically, Luffy narrowly avoided death by being thrown off a ship. And all of a sudden, after it's about to eat him, Shanks comes in and saves Luffy because he's about to drown because he can't swim, and there's a giant Sea King in the way there. But in the process, Shanks loses his left arm. But Luffy's like, "No, your arm!" Shanks is like, "It's fine, it's only an arm." He's like, "You stood up for me, Shanks is like, "Well, you stood up for me, Luffy, thank you." And this is near the end of the first part of it. So, in this image, okay, it's probably about like maybe a day or a few days later, and Shanks and his crew have to leave. Luffy's like, "Hey, I've decided I'm not gonna be on your crew. I'm gonna be my own pirate." And Shanks is like, you couldn't. You're like a 4-year-old." And Luffy's like, "I will, and I'm gonna be even better than you." Shanks is like, "Okay, take this hat then. I don't need it if you're gonna be better than me." And Luffy's like, "No!" And that is the end of the flashback. And unfortunately, that's the end of the episode 2. Goodbye.